think there are nearly okay, 130 something.
Yes, and if you think we start and people will join continuously.
Okay, yeah, then we can start with the prayers and uh, nine purification breathings. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure, please share the screen.
Mm. Lama Nam La Nyam Zonje Don Deng Anye Edam La La Nyam Zonje Nende Sanwe Kando Mala Gyabzonje Lama Yendam Kando Zom La Gyabzonje Sanwa Zanje Sanjo Dandonya Sanjo Yeje Toye Nombola Dangelejo Dogendemba Yetae Senjen Denje semyedo. 9 purification breathings. Okay, welcome back. So, uh, still people are coming. Okay. Okay. So, mm, yesterday uh, we talked about the formation of our uh, self, the formation of human being, how human being came into existence, or how uh, the birth procedure of human being happened. Okay, so in that the formations order of the or element order that combine together, uh, which happens during the formation, is very important to understand the dissolution of death, dying procedure, to understand the order of element dissolution. Okay, so at the same time, we try to give uh, 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 try to give a general understanding or a concept of the pardo, uh, which actually pardo means in general or literally, pardo means a journey between two lives, and that is from when you leave one body to until you enter into another body. That journey is called pardo. So literally that is pardo. But in the pardo teaching, the pardo is not only this, but also those opportunities, those moment that comes during the dying process and after death process, that moment where one can uh, gain or achieve realization or enlightenment or awareness that lead uh, him or her to the better journey of the pardo. So those moments are called a pardo in a different names uh, in the pardo teaching. So that are two things. Okay, so as I said that the real death is when the cigarette breath stopped or the cigarette death happened. The cigarette death is when a consciousness mind leave the body really became a essenceless, or the mind became a baseless or containless, without container or without home. Uh, that moment is called a death. Otherwise, they are outer death, inner death, and the real death is secret death. However, the most important moment of Pardo, the most biggest opportunity of the Pardo, happens between the inner death and secret death, and not in the real uh, journey of the pardo. That is also important. Okay, so in a real journey of the pardo, and also in the in between uh, inner death and secret death, the journey, the feeling, the experiences, all are something like a dream. In a dream, when we are dreaming, and our senses organs are actually how to say, mm, shut down, or uh, kind of uh, disabled, abled, or uh, it's not active that moment. While we sleep, we shut down our eyes. The eye senses doesn't work there. But while dreaming, we have a same feeling that our eyes worked. We can see the things, we can watch the movie, uh, and we can hear the sound. Everything happens, but it is in our mind, not happens with the physical body. The same thing happens in the Pardo journey. The journey, in that journey, Pardo journey, as well as the movement that happens between inner death and outer death, secret death. Okay. For example, in a dream, normally when we are dreaming, our body usually are laying down on the bed, but at the same time in the dream we are traveling in the different places, we are traveling in the, different countries, we go to restaurant, we swim, we run, everything happens as our body is active. And once we wake up, we forget what happened. Luckily, many of you can remember, but you think that you remember whole, but actually there are many episodes, and you remember few of them, and you think that you remember whole dreams. This happens with many people. Okay, so Pardo journey is like that. Mm. So uh, it's only mind. It's called a mind body has a full experience and feeling of having physical body, but there isn't. Okay, so basically Pardo journey between two lives are just exactly as a dreams while you sleep. So it's a dream between 2 days, a dreams that happens in one night. So, and even the in the dreams, what happens has many things to do with uh, your karma. It is the dreams are happening there because either it is to do with your past life, or your future life, or influences of what is going around you at that moment. Mm. Maybe it is happening something with your bed, maybe something happening with your body. As a common example, when you are young, you forgot to go to bathroom before going to bed, and your bladder is full, and you are having a very strong sleep, and then at that moment while you are sleeping, your physical mm, situation is not going well, so it tells your mind that you need to go to bathroom, but you are in a very deep sleep, and then because of that situation, it influence your dream, and it transform into dream, and in dream you will see that you are going to bathroom, or you are going in the some nature where you do your peeing, you pee there, and then while at the second phase of the peeing, you feel another experience, another feeling, that or you feel some warmness around your legs, or your thigh, or like this, and then you see you didn't pee in the outside or bathroom, you peed in the bed. So these are the things happens in a dream, in a dream. So same thing happens. There are three phases of Pardo journey. Past life, the first phase is connected with the past life, and the second phases is connected with the future life, and the middle can happen with the influences of the present life. While you confront someone, and you will have another experience. So same like peeing, or 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 you are sleeping, and all of your clothes or whatever cover or blanket has fallen down, and you started to feel cold in your bed, but in your dream it doesn't show that your blanket has fallen down. It shows that you are walking on the high Himalaya, and cool winds are breezing, snow started to, how to say, fall down, and like this, these things transform. So same things happens. So so overall, in many Pardo teaching, it says just this life is, it's like a dream, and the night we spend is the one kind of Pardo, and of course this Pardo itself. So there are many how to say uh, concepts about Pardo, but the most important thing is uh, to know the most precious opportunity in the Pardo, where one can achieve realization. So that moment is a boundary, that moment is a border, that moment is a limit where you will end up, either in a pure land, or enlightened, or in the samsara suffering. So that moment, those are very, very important. So as I said yesterday, to it is better to talk a little bit um, precisely about this movement, so that uh, it helps oneself to understand the Pardo teaching, and also to guide when your close one uh, dies or any other people when they need such help. So those are very helpful. Okay, when you understand about this moment, it gives you more confidence, more hope, uh, more trust towards your practice, and the practices, the meditation that you already knows become more uh, worthful, meaningful, started to see the connections between different meditations and practices, and all those are very important. So that's why. So this is the most important teaching of the Pardo. So it is called. Okay, still people are coming. Now I think almost. Yeah. So as I said, there are three movement. Three. They called it Pardo. All. But again, I will repeat you. They called it Pardo, but the first one, the most important one, is not in the real, literal Pardo journey. It comes before the Pardo journey, but it is the most important moment, important time, important spot, important opportunity. So I normally use the opportunity. That is the highest and biggest opportunity. Okay. So this moment, this opportunity comes into every being's, whether he or she has or they has, uh, how to say, understanding of teachings or practiced it, or doesn't matter, it comes, this experience occurs in everybody's, uh, not life, everybody's dying procedure. Okay, so uh, everybody's dying procedure, yeah, that's so. Okay, put in this way, maybe I forgot to tell you that movement is called Pardo of Dharmakaya. And that I didn't mention this before, isn't it? So that Pardo is called a Pardo of Dharmakaya, and the second one, this is more about emptiness, Dharmakaya, and the most important one, or it is connected with the Shine texture. All these are connected with this, and the second one is called a Pardo of Sambhogakaya, Pardo of clarity, and yeah, and Pardo of light. What else is there? And the third one is called Pardo of Nirmanakaya, Pardo of existence, Pardo of manifestations. Hmm? So now we are going to talk about. So I will give you the definition of Pardo of Dharmakaya. Mm, Pardo of Dharmakaya, and so as I said before, the first procedure is appearances. You lose the appearances. and senses disconnect with the cognitions, connected with the senses, and then at the same time uh, uh, the element dissolve back into one another, and then this is more about a gross desolation happens in you, and after in that moment there is a moment that you lose your breath. When you lose your breath, there are strong sign. Sometimes uh, people roll their eyes. Sometime, yeah, there will be last exhalation, and that exhale very strongly and long, and then never inhale back, and that is the outer breath, the end of the outer breath. Okay, that is the outer death. uh, okay, and then uh, next level is the dissolution or deactivation or disconnection, disconnection of the subtle things happen inside. Okay, like disconnection of the uh, chakras, collapsing of the channels, uh, 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 how to say, uh, deactivating of the pranas, all this subtleness collapse down. That is inner death. Inner death. So inner death happens with the subtlety, and when the subtlety, it's something like this: there is a mind, there is a body, in between there is a subtleness. When the mind and body combine together at the same time, in the West you often call it something energy or something like that. There's something which put it together, that is subtleness, pure form. So these collapse down. Okay, and when it collapses down at the end, and then there's a movement, and that movement is the movement where the essence of the father, essence of the mother, and the mind, the combination of these three somehow fell down. This is the moment. So the first thing, so in some mm, uh, in some teaching, they just tell you there will be a experiences of dropping down a 3 drops of blood in the heart, and that is the end. Okay, 3 drops of blood dropping deep into your heart. That experience is the last. But here, the experience is described more precisely how it happens. And the first things happen is that you will have a feeling, the dying person will have a feeling, and he or she experience that from the crown chakra. Okay, from the crown chakra, the essence of the father, or uh, in a subtle form, it is called a male bodhisattva seed, and sometimes they described it it as in the form of syllable hum, white syllable hum, or white dot, or white thigle, or white spear. Okay, it descend down, it descend down. So you see, it means there's heart in the center, and then there's a connection, kind of connection that goes up in the crown chakra, and connection goes down to the navel as another connection. As I said before, the navel that connects, obviously connects with the mother and the essence, uh, and from there the outer world uh, origin, and then in the heart the inner world origin, and in a crown chakra the celestial, the subtle, or how you call it, that more pure form of things happens. So there are three: in the center, inner, your mind; in the navel, there's the external, and then in the crown chakra, there's the outer. So there's a kind of connection. Now, after all these subtleness, channels, pranas, and all collapse down, and you end up in inner death, and then after that moment, and this moment is a very, very short. Okay, this moment is very, very short, and uh, people often ask how short, what is the exact timing. So the teaching of always gives this is kechik, is the Tibetan term. It's like this moment, I don't know what is English term, like this clicking time, like. So they measure in the teaching as five of them, five of them. Okay, five. So I will tell you how five. First one, when the white, how to say, bodhisattva seat of father uh, descend down in your heart, and that's the one moment. Okay, and in reality, or in a gross way, they says that a drop of first drop of blood goes into heart from upside there, upside down. That's the first drop. But you will have three things. I would say three things. One, experience, and second, sign, and third, uh, kind of a what word I used yesterday, kind of a outflow. These things, three things can happen. So the first moment when this white male bodhisattva seed descent, that moment is called in Tibetan Nangwa Karlamba. Nangwa is appearances, Kar is white, and Karlamba is Lamba means more like radiant, white, radiant appearances of mind. Does it make sense? Uh, okay, I will connect. Even if it doesn't make sense, I will try to make it better understanding of it. Okay, so when it descend down, you will have two experiences, two kind of experiences. The first experiences is kind of a outer experience, appearances, something like you see something from out. Uh, uh, as I said before, uh, even you don't have your physical eyes, organs, or sense doesn't work, but you will have a full experiences feeling, uh, as it is like a visualization, imagination, or dream happens with us. So you will have whole, like when this drop descends, you will see from the outer world, how to say, everything turns into like uh, bright light, like a night of shiny full moon. So everything turns into, like when there is a full moon, uh, 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 full moons shining radiantly, and you see everything very clearly. So that kind of experience uh, comes in the outer appearances, but in inner, how to say, experience, when I say outer and inner, it is more it is like what you see from your eyes and what you feel inside, feel or experience by your mind. So something like this, and exactly happen there. Even your senses doesn't work, but that experience happens. So in inner experience, you will have like experience of a uh, mm, like a smoke of incense, smoke of incense, and that doesn't which is not a disturbance by the wind or like this, which goes straight widely, like you have this kind of kind of feeling. So in your inner experience will be like this kind of, and outer something like you, everything is okay, uh, very clearly shined, radiated by full moon. So that moment comes. So it's very short, like this moment. Okay. Now, when this happens, the most important thing that happened here is that uh, in that moment, and naturally, without any antidotes or transformation, what happens is that uh, all the negative emotions that is connected with anger pacify. So normally we says there are 33 kind of negative emotions that is associated with anger. So all these 33 negative emotions that is associated with anger, and anger itself pacify naturally in that moment. And while this pacify, you will have kind of a, or you will experience kind of a pleasant, and which is also a not a enlightened pleasant, or it is called a sakchejidewa, which means a contaminated pleasure or worldly pleasure uh, is experienced that moment. Hmm? Is it clear? Okay. So this is important. Now it says Nangwakalamba. The Tibetan word is Nangwakalamba. White, radiant appearances. Okay. White, radiant appearances. That is the first. Now, um, that connection collapsed down actually, but it collapsed down at the same time. The anger and its emotions that is exposed out is fallen for a moment. Is it clear? Mm, yeah. Oh, still people are coming.
Portela, sorry, you're muted. I I accidentally muted you because
Oh,
wanted to admit somebody. Sorry.
oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, or somebody left. Okay, so anyway, so Nawa Kalamba, that is like how should I put in a very simple way? Mm, okay, let's put in that way. Okay, first I will give the definition of the second one, then it will become easier. This is called a wide radiant Nawakalamba appearances. Okay, that's it. Just and then when all this happens, this connection collapses down, and then what happened is as I said, the second movement, the first movement went, and the second movement experience, and that movement experience is called a chepa marlamba. Chepa marlamba. Chepa. mm, chepa is. Cheba is some kind of increasing, also spreading, also let me check. It has more meaning. It should have more meaning. Uh, mhm, mhm, mhm. Multiple, multiplying or multiply is also better. Widening, widening. Yeah, I would say those are more close for me in my understanding. So it's called Chepa Marlamba. So Mar is red, Marlamba is a radiant red, uh, increasing or multiplying radiant red of mind, or something like this. So now when I give you the definition, then you understand why it is called like this. Mm? Yeah. So uh, okay, I will give the definition of chepa later better. So here what happened is that now this collapsed down, and then first moment gone, uh, all the negative emotions, or specifically negative emotion that is associated with anger, uh, pacified, dissolved or pacified without antidote, without, like, naturally. That is the first. And now a the essence of mother, or a red female bodhisattva seeds from a navel chakras go, how to say, up. How you call it? What is the opposite of descending?
Standing.
Ascending. Oh, sorry. Descending, ascending. You're right. Yeah, it ascends back, up. Okay, it ascends up to the heart chakra, or in the heart. Mm. And at the same time, this second drop, the first drop here, the second drops ascend up in the heart, and that moment now, also same as before, there is the experience, and there is a sign, and there is a, outflows. So in that moment, what the dying person will experience is uh, everything in the outer world, or outer phenomena, or outer appearances, uh, turning up something like a, how to say, reddish, or uh, uh, broad light day. I think broad light day, like radiated by a strong sunshine. Yeah. So this these appearances will be experienced. So with the male, it's like a moon. Here with the female, bodhisattva seed is like sun, more reddish in color, that more whitish in color. So that is the outer experiences. In the inner experiences, the the moment changes. Before it was like a white smoke of the incense which doesn't vary, which goes straight. And now in the inner experience here in the second movement in the Chepa Marlamba, so you will experience the dying person will experience like something like a flame of a butter lamp, flame of butter lamp, that something like that that smokish turn into flame. So that is why it is called a chepa, increase, or multiple, or the meaning is that before it something appear, that smokish appear, nangwa, and then here it spread multiple into a flame, and it's a chepa marlamba, increasing red radiant mind or something like this. So this happens, okay. And when this experience is occur, and then how to say, so like from the smokish to the light or flame of the candle or butter lamp, that experience come into inner experience or inner feeling. Mm, uh, so, and at the same moment, now what uh, uh, as I said before, like pacifying. And what pacify here is that all the negative emotions or afflictions that is associated with the desire or attachment will be pacified. And normally there are 40 of them, 40 sub 40 sub how to say, negative emotions of desire, and desire poison itself pacify without antidote or transforming, and it means like it pacify naturally. Mm? So there will be also again kind of a pleasure or bliss or pleasant experiencing a pleasant, and which is not again a up the pure form, the uppermost form of pleasant, which is a which you call a great bliss. It is not a great bliss. It is a bliss or pleasant that is contaminated. So, but you will, the dying person will experience. That is the second moment. Okay. Is it clear? So it's a first movement and second movement, but it is like very the most important. And now you see, while this happening, the negative emotions are somehow pacifying at the moment. when the negative emotions or thoughts uh, disappear or dissolve, and what happens is you get more closer to the natural state of your mind or naked form of your mind, which is called the naked mind. So that is the moment you will see the real face of your mind. Okay, so without any veils. So that's why it's very very important. And now we will have the third moment. That's the final moment. Okay, so first one is nangwakan lamba, when uh, uh, the male bodhisattva say descend back into the heart chakra or heart. And the second movement is called a cheba marlamba, when a female bodhisattva seed descend back into heart chakra, or ascent back into ascent back into heart chakra. And that's two. And third one is called a nyertop naglamba. Nyertop naglamba. Nyer means approaching close, getting closer. Top means achieving or realizing. Nyertop naglamba. Lamba is a black radiant. Okay, that's strange, isn't it? Black radiant, or black radiant, that is a close achievement or near attainment of the mind. Either, or the mind of radiant black, which is also a near attainment. Does it make sense? Or you will get sense when I will give the definition. Okay, so Nyerdop Naglamba is the third one. Now, now it is something like a when the bodhisattva seat, white bodhisattva seat descend back, and red bodhisattva seat ascend back up into a line, and then it is something happen like a mind, and then the two seats, like it's more like a kind of pressed, or how you call it in English, uh, something like making a sandwich. uh, uh, so when it became more like a sandwich in between mind, and that moment, and that third moment start. And in third moment, uh, there is not just a one drop happen, because before I say one drop of blood and second drop of blood, or no, not drop. Okay, I made how to say, uh, I said this one moment, one moment, and two moment. I measure it this like this, and then I said in the total there should be five moments. So one drop of blood comes, and second drop of blood comes, and then third drop happens in that moment. But the experiences will be in a three, like a kind of like a three movements, 1 2 3, like something like this, means like a, you can say like a 3 seconds almost, like so, 1 second and 2 second and 3 second in between, so 5 seconds. If you measure, approximately measure these important, the most important opportunity, the length of the timing should be a 5 moments, 5 seconds. So 3 seconds happens in between. So when they talk about 3 drops of blood, and one drop up to down, second drop down to up, and the third drops just from the heart itself. So that is the Okay. Now that is the final moment, and also it has the same experiences, of appearances that arise outside, appearances that happen inside, uh, as before. So what happened here is that in the outer experience, everything goes dark, like a dark in a clear sky. Like in the beginning, in the first descending, there is everything is a whitish, like shining moon. That is called now a kalamba, white radiated. And then in the second one, when it ascend up, there is a like a, how to sun, sun, shining sun, or red radiated. And now everything became black out in the outer appearances, and that's why it's called a black radiated. That is outer experiences, outer appearances. But in the inner experiences, it changes, and it will like a sky full of stars, sky full of stars. Now what happened is like in the outer, from shining white, red, and black, it went black. But inner, first there is a smokish, and then in the second moment there's a flame, and the third moment is like sky with the full of shining stars, like completely light. Okay, so it's two contradiction. One goes from light to dark, and second transform, how to say, kind of darkish to a light. Mind is going more inside, in. Is it clear? This moment is important. This moment is very important. Okay, yeah, that moment, what happened is that all the negative emotions that is associated with, or sub divisions of the ignorance, and normally there are seven of them, and all these negative emotions, or sub, I would say also sub ignorance, and ignorance itself pacified. Mm. And now imagine your mind without any negative emotions, afflictions, it's pure there, pure there. If you see, and you are seeing your own dharmakaya, that moment, if you able to remain in natural state of mind, and that is the moment where you can achieve realization. That is very important. And this is, it is a moment. There's example given, like there's a dark house, it has been dark for centuries, and then one night a small candle lit inside, and everything became a, how to say, radiant, clear light. So this moment has such power, such a power. Hmm? So this is the Pardo of Dharmakaya. This is the most important moment you have to know about Pardo teaching as a practitioner. As a practitioner, otherwise there are rituals, there are prayers, that there are many things. But as a practitioner, if you understand or learn this moment, and then you will understand the real practice of Pardo, and you can connect this teaching with other teachings, other meditations, other practices, and then you will able to enhance the understanding of more about Dzogchen, more about Powa, more about Che, more about Dream Yoga, more about Shine, more about Tekche, and whole practices associated with calm abiding or Tekche that you practice during your the moment you alive will be benefit here. This moment, it is the moment where you apply this practice, how to be in that moment. When you are able to be in the moment, and that is how the yogis were able to stand straight in meditative posture for 3 days, at least 3 days, even they end up in inner death and until their secret death. That is the reason that happened. They were able to sustain that moment, being in that, and that is why even the everything is not working the physically, but mental state is there in that state. That is called tuktam. And I've seen so many online information about tuktam. Some of them are wrong. I I guarantee you. And there are so many wrong informations online going on, and some of them are proudly expressing these kind of information. And mm, so so now you can understand, you will understand how tuktam happens. Okay, this is the moment. Okay, so there are way how to help. Sometimes mentally, spiritually, some of the practitioners are very strong, but physically uh, maybe bedridden or illness, they struggle to be in the posture. In that moment, if you could help them to be in the posture, at least if you couldn't make them a meditative posture, there's a way to make it laid down, like a sleeping way, like Buddha's way of sleeping, like right part down, left part up, putting placing your palm in the cheek and another left hand on the hips, and then like this, facing toward the east, uh, head directing to the south, leg directing to the north. There is a way of making it at least in that posture. Even in that, there is possible of being in the tukdam actually. But the most uh, obvious tukdam is who really stand in this. And then I can proudly tell you this because you know, most of you know my master, uh, 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 to whom in front of him I spent most of my life. And when he passed away, he really passed in that way. And then there were many discussion in many monastery, because traditionally it is not uh, 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 okay to uh, how to say, display in the public. But there were so many strong discussion went in the Manu monastery. They said that for us it is okay, but what about there are so many Westerner, how to say, followers of him who deserve to see him this, who deserve, because they have never witnessed this, and many of the Tibetan they already witnessed many of this took them, but they never witnessed this and they deserve to see this, witness this. So and then at the end they how to say, display, let people to not close, let people to see his tuktam. So you have seen the photographs and like this, so you see it. uh, 4.5 days his neck was really straight, and then after 4.5 days it went down. And not only like it was a very short period, but not only students from west went there to visit, but so many important officials from how to say, exiled Tibetan government, they even came to see, to like this. So that's why you can see, and these are the message that not only we talk, but just it that you can see them, that you can experience. And these things happens, can happen with anyone actually. It's it's question about you, you are able to maintain that movement or not. It doesn't matter. uh, Even you are not serious practitioner for whole your life, but you know how to practice and you know the concept, and if you're able to how to say, focus very seriously at that moment, probably you will become more how to say, successful than others. This can happen. Okay, I think we are running time.
Yes, we have a break now.
Okay,
30 minutes
yeah,
break.
30 minutes break. See you after break.
See you.